Ah yes, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. Or maybe it would be more logical to say, what the hell is Armored Core? To be honest, I've heard about AC franchise but never really played it. Despite my love for mecha anime, and yes, I even have a favorite Gundam, Hello and Z666 Kshatriya, and my deep affection for all tactical RPGs like Front Mission and Super Robot Wars, Armored Core always eluded my attention. And there's one sole reason for this: I suck at action RPGs. Especially fast-paced ones with extensively complicated Monster Hunter-like systems and with every enemy's primary weapon being sensory overload, not guns and lasers. But here we are because you voted for it. It's pretty popular and I hope I can bring some additional views and new subscribers to this channel. So if you'd like to see me struggle for the next 20 to 30 minutes and be absolutely terrible at this game, feel free to leave a like and subscribe while you're at it. So without further ado, let's dive right into Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. So, we start the game and we are immediately put into the shoes of augmented human C3PO R2D2. I mean C4621. We see ourselves entering a planet called Rubicon with an unknown reason, guided only by our handler named Walter. Or maybe handler is his family name, because people have weird names in this universe. Anyway, we embark on our first mission with the aim of finding a broken mech from which we can copy a license and a call sign. We traverse an enormous wasteland of a city, defeat a few common enemies and finally locate a suitable license. And I have to say, this mission is supposed to be a tutorial, but there is no tutorial per se. Basically, the game just tells you which buttons to push, but doesn't really explain any mechanics or how to use the HUD. I don't think it even explains that you have a freaking lightsaber as your left-hand weapon. But anyway, we find the suitable call sign, which is Raven, super edgy, just how I like it. Right after that, we engage in a battle with the tutorial boss of this mission. And to be completely honest, I came into the game completely blind, devoid of spoilers, so my first reaction was like, haha, that's a boss helicopter, it should be easy. Yeah, I died maybe 10 or even 15 times before I realized that I can use my beam saber, and it took me another 5 to 6 deaths to understand that I can actually combo it into 2 strikes, not just one. And actually at this point in the game I was constantly pushing the wrong buttons, especially in times of panic, so yeah, it was quite hard for me. It was a massive shocker, but eventually I managed to defeat the helicopter and earned the first achievement of the game, Illegal Entry. We're off to a great start and, well, there's no way back now. And right after the mission we are introduced to our main menu, and first of all I delve into the AC options and tinker with parts and colors. For this we immediately earn 2 achievements: Graphic Designer for customizing the color of our AC and Hardware Engineer for changing any part of the AC. Right after that, the real game begins, and we are also introduced to a proper tutorial called Training Missions that explains most things about the game mechanics. I complete those as they become available and also participate in a few story missions until we're tasked with attacking the dam complex with red guns. Gun 1 Michigan starts calling us Gun 13, which is quite nice and will remain on my mech for the rest of the game. Well, you know, because I'm FlareonXIII. Anyway, we proceed to Operation Wallclimber and engage in a battle with the Juggernaut, with the universe's blade V4 Rusty assisting us. It takes me a few tries, but eventually I manage to defeat the Juggernaut and earn the Operation Wallclimber achievement. By that time we also unlock and complete all the training missions, earning the Training Complete achievement as well. And at the same time we complete a couple of missions that involve gathering data logs and earn another achievement for collecting 10 of them. About that time, AllMind, the local chat GPT for mercenaries, contacts us and invites us into the arena, where we can battle different replicas of famous ACs and their pilots. We quickly dispatch the competitors in the F rank, which include Invincible Rami and his Index Dunham and Gun 6 Red. By winning every fight, we earn a certain amount of OC chips, which we can use to upgrade our AC's performance. Upon purchasing our first OC upgrade, we also receive a new achievement, Software Engineer. And now we come to the challenging part of the game, which is Balteus. This guy is so notorious that it's basically the only thing I knew about AC6 before I started playing. That there is a boss at the end of chapter 1 who will give you a massive hard time, even if you think that you can already play the game on a decent level. I died to him a dozen of times at first, constantly changing and tweaking my build between attempts. Eventually I realized that I simply lacked the variety of weapons and tools available in the shop. You see, money isn't exactly abundant in the first chapter, so I was mainly buying things that I liked visually or found interesting. So I abandoned the mission with Balteus and decided to grind some early game mission that could be completed in just a few minutes. Fortunately, I was also able to S-rank 3 or 4 missions from chapter 1, so it was a win-win. I acquired tank legs, 2 amazing laser cannons on my shoulders and 2 light machine guns. After a few more tries, I was finally able to defeat Balteus, though I was really just a hairbreadth away from losing, which added to the intensity of the fight. But aside from all that, I have to say that the Balteus fight is just stunning. It really showcases the breathtaking action that the game can deliver. Sometimes I would expertly dodge a barrage of missiles or a burst of plasma shots, and it truly feels incredible. I would be so amazed by this that I'd immediately get shot and killed in a few seconds. But those moments when you're epically dodging the boss's attacks and delivering some shots yourself just make me go. Anyway, we finish the mission and also get a Tulpa Firekeeper wife in our hat named Ayre, and also earn the Contact achievement. In chapter 2 we also unlock rank E of the arena and quickly dispatch Nozak, V6 Metterlink, Little Z, V7 Swinburne. As of chapter 2 we get introduced to Cinder Carla and complete a few missions for her while Walter is away. At the end of the chapter we also face the Sea Spider, another hard boss. It gives me some trouble until I switch back to the tank build with 2 Gatling guns and finally manage to destroy it. And yes, I know it's considered to be a noob meta build, but come on guys. As I mentioned earlier, at least at this point, I am terrible at this game and I just want to overcome some obstacles. Finally, we defeat the Sea Spider and get launched to another continent in an AliExpress container. We also receive the Ocean Crossing achievement for completing this mission. This opens up chapter 3, which is the longest chapter with a lot of missions. We also get introduced to decisions. These are usually missions that contradict themselves, and if you choose one, the other one will get locked out until New Game Plus. Generally, these decisions will also determine the ending, so one way or another we will see all missions and all endings eventually. This time I go for corporation route, where we most of the time helping corporations mine the coral and defend them against PCA. We also get access to Arena Rank D and make a quick work of G3 Wu Huahai, Ring Freddy, V5 Hawkins, G5 Iguazu, and Roku Monsen. And actually just after a few missions we also get access to rank C of the arena, where we successfully defeat G4 Volta, V8 Pater, Sula, Chatty Stick, and Middle Flatwell. Eventually we are tasked to attack an old PCA spaceport, and in the end they call out the Ice Worm, a giant metal machine that seems invincible. This does not end the chapter, but nets us a new threat achievement. After this we also unlock Arena Rank B, where things start to get more and more serious. There we encounter V3 O'Keefe, Cinder Carla herself, Cold Call, our boy V4 Rusty, and Honest Brute. The next few missions advance the plot, and eventually Balaam and Arquebus corporations decide to combine their power to bring down the Ice Worm. And I have to say, this is the most epic fight in the game. And yes, I understand that it's a gimmick fight like Yorm or Rykard, but those are not nearly as epic as this one. It really gave me some Evangelion vibes when they were charging the giant railgun to defeat an angel. It took me just a few tries to complete the fight, but man, this is awesome. Defeating the Ice Worm concludes chapter 3 and also earns us the Ayre and the Coral achievement. With Chapter 4 at hand, we ascend to the higher echelons of the arena with rank A, where we can challenge the top contenders: G2 Nile, V2 Snail, Chartreuse, and Thumb Dolmayan. And by the way, his AC is named Asgik, and no, Thumb Dolmayan did not randomly mash his keyboard while naming his AC. Asgik is an Armenian goddess of fertility and love. Yeah, I googled it, so you don't have to. Also, Vaati, if you're watching this, I'm requesting a 40-minute video on Thumb Dolmayan's lore. Finally, with the arena taken care of for now, we delve deep into the depths of an unknown facility. This also earns us the Into Unknown Territory achievement. And right after that, we achieve Arena Rank S, where we face some of the strongest competitors out there, including King, G1 Michigan, and V1 Freud. And that's it for the arena for now. We've become the top dog, and we also earned the Testing Complete achievement for this accomplishment. And here we are at the end of Chapter 4 and at the doorstep of the millennia of this game, CBD 420. I mean CL240. Sorry. These boss names, man. I always get them mixed up. To be honest, I can't call her the Millennia of this game because, well, unlike Millennia, I have actually managed to defeat her on my own. But, dude, this boss fight is a goddamn sensory overload, and I love it. I don't know who comes up with these things at From Software, but with every new game, they invent a new way to challenge the player, and it's absolutely beautiful. Like in Bloodborne, you have to sometimes unlock the camera because the boss is too quick. And in Dark Souls 3, you suddenly get bosses where you need to strafe right instead of left all the time, and it kind of mixes up everything. Elden Ring introduced delayed attacks, of course, and finally in AC6, pure sensory overload. Anyway, after 5 to 6 tries and a few tweaks to our AC, we finally managed to defeat CL240 and earn the Re-Education achievement. Of course, as is often the case with corporations, we are betrayed. The next mission is quite cool, with us piloting an old rusty bucket of an AC and eventually getting saved by Carla. We seize Xylem, the floating city, and decide to crash it straight into the coral vascular plant to prevent them from mining coral, also earning the floating city achievement along the way.
I give you the colony ship, Simon. Walter's parting gift.
Of course, this would mean destroying coral completely, and Ayre, who would have guessed, is a part of coral, and she doesn't like it at all. We go through a couple of missions and finally get Xylem onto the course to destroy the plant. Ayre hijacks a massive orbital laser cannon, and Carla sends us to shut it down to ensure the mission's success. Eventually, we face Ayre in her coral-powered AC as the final boss of this ending. Honestly, this is basically CL420 on steroids. Yet, this fight seemed a bit easier for me, perhaps because I had already faced CL240 before. Also, Ayre does not revive and essentially has 2 phases and 1 health bar, so it makes it a bit easier. It took me a while, but eventually I managed to defeat her with an absolute lucky shot. She basically teleported right into my double shot from the needle launchers. Oh wait, Did I say luck? I mean it was a meticulously calculated skill shot. So, Ayre is defeated, Xylem crashes into the vascular plant and it burns away the whole planet and the coral altogether. I do understand why this is considered to be the bad ending. The whole fight with Ayre is quite sad and fighting her feels kinda wrong, like you're not supposed to do that in the first place. But anyway, we earned the Fires of Raven achievement and complete the game for the first time. But of course, it is only just the beginning. From this point, we begin a new game plus and progress all the way to chapter 3 to make different decisions. This time, we choose to assist the Rubicon Liberation Front in their fight against the corporations. At some point, All Mind contacts us and offers to participate in a new arena program called Analysis, where we would face experimental All Mind mechs. As we progress further through the missions, we also complete the Analysis arena, and it consists of Alpha Arena with Mind Alpha, Trainer and Tester, Beta Arena with Mind Beta, Corporation and Rubiconian mechs, and finally Gamma Arena with Mind Gamma, Institute and Nightfall. Completing this nets us the remaining OC chips and we can actually upgrade all possible passive skills. By doing that, I received the Expansion Collector achievement for getting all expansions and the Tuning Expert achievement for acquiring all skills.
Double kill!
From this point, we progress to chapter 5, where we decide to eliminate Carla to prevent her from crashing Xylem into the vascular plant. Of course, she doesn't like that and we have to confront her and defeat her, Chatty, and a bunch of high-grade Vespers and Red Guns. In the end, the corporation sent brainwashed handler Walter after us as a weapon of last resort, and we have an epic battle on top of crashing Xylem. Hands down, Walter is the easiest of the final bosses. Don't get me wrong, his fight is still absolutely epic and emotionally charged. But I don't know, maybe by the time I completed the second playthrough, my skill had improved, but I think I defeated Walter on my second or third try without really changing anything in my build. It's just a matter of learning how to dodge his most dangerous attacks. This ending is a bit obscure and I get the feeling that Ayre is foreshadowing the third ending here. Like she knows we can replay everything one more time and get to the true ending, but that's just my thoughts.
I know Walter feared a collapse. But I promise you, there's another way. Raven. We'll find it together.
Finally, we start the new game plus and from here we can begin making decisions from the very first chapter. We can actually choose to betray Red Guns during the Attack the Dam Complex mission, and after that some usual missions will change a bit. We would encounter different bosses instead of the usual ones, or the overall plot will start to play out slightly differently. At the same time, the last secret analysis arena will open up where we will fight the top secret All Mind mechs. So in the Delta arena we can fight Rusty in his new Steel Haze Ortus mecha. We can also fight Hal 286, which is basically the Walter fight from the previous ending, and also Echo, which is basically Ayre's fight from the very first ending that we did. Hal and Ayre fights may sound challenging, but they seems to be made significantly easier here, since this is a simulation and you don't have any repair kits in this mode. I managed to defeat them on my first try. Anyway, once we complete the Delta analysis stage, we promptly receive the Master of the Arena achievement.
I believe I've learned a lot.
Eventually, closer to the end of the game, All Mind contacts us and tries to recruit Raven into a Coral release program. We start doing missions for All Mind from time to time, with the culmination being the missions where we need to fight CL-240. Instead of facing the boss, All Mind directs us to V2 Snail, the guy who stunned us right after the boss fight during previous playthroughs. We defeat him, and from that point, most missions become completely new, where we meticulously dispatch most of the NPCs from Arquebus, Balaam, Liberation Front, basically everyone. Instead of playing as a rusty AC in the escape mission, we get a completely new MIA mission. By completing this one, we earn an achievement with the same name and secure our path to the third ending.
Your safety is now guaranteed.
Finally, we reach the point where all obstructions are gone, with Allmind killing Walter and Carla, and we hack Xylem to prevent it from crashing into the vascular plant. Allmind starts the coral release, but for some unknown reason to me, she decides to kill us in the end. And you know what that means? An epic boss fight with Allmind. But first, we actually fight Iguazu and his 5 minions. While this part of the fight looks menacing, it's actually not a big deal and is basically designed to wear us out a bit before Allmind enters the fray. But the best part is that our girl Ayre comes to help us and we engage in an epic fight. Allmind also summons not one, but 2 sea spiders that we better dispatch first. After defeating the sea spiders and getting Allmind to half HP, Iguazu takes her over and destroys Ayre's AC, so we can have a proper one-on-one fight. Safe to say, this is the hardest part of the fight, but man, it is so epic. After maybe 2 or 3 tries, I kind of learned how to dodge Iguazu's melee attacks and finally managed to defeat him. A breathtaking cutscene plays out that rivals Interstellar, and as far as I understood, Coral gets dispersed across the universe, engulfing Raven in it. The last scene takes place in some unknown place, maybe Rubicon, but with a blue sky and a lot of ACs waking up, seemingly inhabited by coral spirits. Wow, it's beautiful, tear-jerking, and absolutely epic. I want more, and I want a DLC or anything right now. To be honest, I never realized I would enjoy the game so much, and I urge you to play it, even despite the fact that I spoiled most of the plot in this video. If not for the plot, you must play for the amazing adrenaline-packed action and visuals. And of course, with the third ending received, we earn the Alea Iacta Est achievement, and also the Stargazer achievement for completing and unlocking all possible missions in the game.
System activating combat mode.
Double kill.
And from this point I started S-ranking all the missions in the game. There are also a bunch of achievements relating to getting all the collectibles like combat logs, weapons and AC parts. It's not particularly difficult, but it does require a lot of money to buy everything. However, this comes naturally, as we need to basically replay every mission in the game multiple times to achieve S ranks, so collecting enough funds to purchase every possible weapon and part from the store is just a matter of time. Nevertheless, before you know it, we collect all the combat logs, receiving the Combat Log Collector achievement. After that, I gather all weapons, including the ones found in containers throughout the mission, and earn the Weapon Collector achievement. And finally, shortly after, we also earn the External Part Collector and Internal Part Collector achievements.
Double kill.
Whew. From this point on, the hardest challenge in the game is getting S ranks for the rest of the missions. And to be honest, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Surprisingly, the hardest missions to S rank were not the ones with endgame bosses. I had the most difficult time with missions where you need to protect something against waves of enemies, escort a helicopter, or missions that implement a time limit. Other than that, the endgame bosses were not as challenging, and generally I managed to get the S rank on them after 2 or 3 tries. Of course, I used the most broken builds, but I think it's not a bad thing. S-ranking missions is all about speed and efficiency, and you have to have the most powerful weapons with the best AC parts. There are just a few missions where I used Cinder Carla's build with a lot of homing missiles, like the ones where you need to protect the big mining rig, or a mission where you need to fight O'Keefe. In those missions, the missile build works wonders. And other than that, I stuck to either 2 Zimmermann shotguns for some boss fights, or 2 heavy laser rifles in case I need to dispatch many enemies quickly, as laser weapons have a pretty short cooldown and can one-shot most of the MTs. But anyway, before you know it, we reach the last mission of the game, which is the boss fight with Allmind and Iguazu. And after a few tries, it goes something like this. And eventually we achieved the S rank here and earned two final achievements, the Perfect Mercenary and the Platinum itself, called the Armored Core.
Double kill.
Wow, I did not think this game would be so awesome. And more to that, I did not think I would be able to even complete the game, let alone S-rank all the missions. But man, I've had a lot of fun, and if AC6 gets a DLC at some point, I will definitely get it. The game combines amazing storytelling that only From Software can pull off with even more awesome action. The boss fights are breathtaking, and the atmosphere of desolated dystopian cyberpunk cities is awe-inspiring. This is undoubtedly a game of the year for me so far, so if you haven't tried it yet, do yourself a favor and play it as soon as you can. Yeah, and this is it, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Road to Platinum. I hope you liked the video, and if you're still watching at this point, thanks a lot. Please subscribe to my channel, it really gives me a lot of motivation. And of course, I will see you next time. Cheers!